All right, Tears of the Kingdom, Uncivil Synopsis. This video, it's pretty good. I like this video. Again, you can kind of see the difference between this video and the Breath of the Wild video, where like the direction of Uncivil Synopsis has gone, because again, like this video is very similar to the Breath of the Wild video in terms of structure, because again, it's like Tears of the Kingdom is like the same fucking game as this one, basically. But as you can kind of see in this video, it's like the side rant stuff, we're not doing that shit anymore. Again, we're just mainly focused on the story, talking about the story stuff, and like how like kind of goofy this shit is, especially Tears of the Kingdom specifically, because Tears of the Kingdom is essentially like a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild that like ignores that Breath of the Wild ever existed, and like it's kind of bizarre. It's so like Nintendo, where they're like literally all they'd have to do is just show like a 10-second cutscene of like all the shit from like Breath of the Wild just blowing up, like all the shrines blowing up and the Divine Beasts, just like, oh yeah, dude, that shit blew up for some reason, like during the Great Upheaval, like all this shit blew up. I don't know, and like that's literally all they had to do, but like they just didn't do it, and all the characters just ignored that the last game happened. It's kind of bizarre. Yeah, so obviously, you know, Tears of the Kingdom, you know, it's announced. It's like, oh, I'm making a video on this for sure, 100%. You know, Zelda, it's like it's a core staple of the entire fucking channel. Got to do a Tears of the Kingdom video, you know? And, yeah, and the reason I waited as long as I did, because I put this out like, what, like 10 months or so after the game came out or whatever. I don't remember exactly when, but yeah, I was basically just waiting for like, oh, like, is this game gonna get DLC? Like, we're not really sure, because again, Breath of the Wild got like DLC and all this shit, and it's like, well, I want to include that in the video if it happens. So essentially, once we kind of got confirmation from Nintendo that like, yeah, DLC for this game, it's not happening. Like, okay. And that's immediately when I was like, okay, time to make the video, you know? And again, like, again, Tears of the Kingdom, the reason this video, I think, is funny, you know, is again, because it's basically a sequel to Breath of the Wild, and it just ignores all the shit. So again, like, most of the video is just like talking about like how pointing out like all the dumb shit where it's like, oh, where's the Sheikah Towers? Where are those things? What the fuck? And it's like, oh, we don't know. I don't know. And it's like, what about the Divine Beasts? Like, it's like, where are those? It's like, I don't know. And it's like, wouldn't the Divine Beasts solve this exact problem we're having in this area? You know, it's like, oh, well, I don't know. What's a Divine Beast? I don't know. It's like, this game's fucking stupid. And especially because, like, as I kind of point out, like, in this video, like, literally the Divine Beast in each area would, like, solve the problem that's having in each area. You know what I mean? It's like, and the most obvious one is the Zora one, because it's like, it's literally like, bro, like, there's all this sludge everywhere, and we can use water to clean up the sludge, and it's like, okay, like, and like the problem in Breath of the Wild was Varuto was spraying water 24/7. It was raining 24/7. You know, it's like, and that would literally clear up all the sludge. It's like, why don't we just do that again? It's like, what's a Divine Beast, Link? I don't know. It's like, oh my god, it's so fucking dumb. Now, fun fact, one thing I ended up deleting from this video that I originally planned on doing was, again, kind of like highlighting all the new kind of tools in this game, like the Ultra Hand and stuff, you know? And I was kind of just talking about, like, it was kind of like more of like a critique type of section where, like, I was kind of talking about, like, yeah, it's so cool in this game how, like, how all the tools kind of like work together like seamlessly. Like, you can like pick an object up with Ultra Hand and then like rewind it back in, like, and drop it, and then like rewind it back into the air, and then as it's rewinding back up into the air, you can then like, you know, go up and like no clip through the thing that's being time stopped in midair and like use it as a platform. You know, it's like, it's so fucking cool. Like, there's so much cool shit you can do in this game, and like, yeah, bro, like, this game, the runes in this game stomp the shit out of Breath of the Wild. They really do. And you can definitely tell, like, in Breath of the Wild, like, they definitely had like they had like a cool idea of what they wanted to do, but as far as like the runes were concerned, like they were definitely like stuck in like the old Zelda mindset where it's like, oh, what do we do for the runes? It's like, oh, we got bombs, and we got like this shitty ice rod thing that sucks dick, and we got fucking, I don't know, yeah, what were the other ones? Oh yeah, the magnet. It's like we got the magnet thing that can only pick up metal stuff, and it's like, you know what I mean? Those are like the runes in Breath of the Wild. They're kind of like Zelda items, essentially, like glorified Zelda items. Whereas Tears of the Kingdom, it's like they kind of like, I feel like they saw the reception of Breath of the Wild and they're like, oh, like this is what people liked about the game. So then they just went fucking crazy with the runes in this game, and like they're so much fun to use. Especially because, like, again, this game is designed so well because it's like they add all these cave networks and stuff, and it's like, and then they give you the like I forget what it's called, the ascending rune or whatever, where like you fucking no clip through the ceiling and shit. Like what a good fucking ability to give players. You know what I mean? It's like the perfect ability to give players. It's like you add caves, and it's like what sucks dick about adding caves? It's like, oh, like you have to backtrack through all the caves, you get stuck, you don't know where you are, and it's like, fuck it, bro, just no clip through the ceiling, get the fuck out of the cave. It's like, what a good fucking idea, dude. And again, I feel like this game, like, we're kind of in the period of time where this game is still relatively new, and people are kind of like, I don't know about this new Zelda, but the last Zelda is pretty good, you know, like, I feel like bro, like, in 5 to 10 years, people will look back on this game and be like, dude, this shit was fucking crazy, like, because it really was, dude, like. But again, like in this video, because again, Uncivil Synopsis, we're not. That's like the kind of thing I would include like in the Breath of the Wild Uncivil Synopsis, where like I would like waste time making that side rant comparison of the runes and stuff, but like again, like Uncivil Synopsis at this point in time, we finally kind of honed in what we wanted to do. We're done with the side rant shit, and like we're just focusing on the story. And this video is definitely better as a result, because yeah, I realized like when I was talking about the runes in the tutorial, like it was like a 3 to 5 minute rant, and it's like, holy shit, we haven't even gotten out of the tutorial yet. Like, it's ridiculous. And I was like, okay, this is we got to stop doing the side rant shit. I cut that out, and it's like, cool, now we're good, you know? And again, here's kind of a funny thing that like, here's a funny thing I included that like I didn't really have to, was all the like Clover Cassette side quest stuff. And again, kind of just vignetting, including this stuff as like a vignette, just like, yeah, whatever, dude, I'll do whatever you want. Just give me the fucking armor set, like, you know. And that's a funny bit. Like, so now it's like, like I've kind of like honed this in with like, you know, like the Yakuza stuff with like, especially with the Yakuza videos, like it's like balancing like side quest stuff with main quest stuff and kind of like sprinkling it in and including what like is important to talk about, you know. So it's kind of cool that like I'm kind of also doing that in Tears of the Kingdom as well, where like I was able to kind of include the Clover Cassette without like wasting too much time, you know. And again, here we are, we're starting the classic Divine Beast bit. It's like, how do we fly up to this island that's covered in clouds? It's like, I wonder if only we had a giant Divine Beast that could fly and could fly and probably take the wind currents and stuff. It's like, I don't know what that is. I don't know. It's like, it's so weird. It's like, I don't know why. And all they needed was like a 10-second cutscene of like the upheaval happens, all the shit blows up, and like that's all they had to do. Maybe it doesn't even blow up. Maybe it just literally evaporates in the air. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like they just didn't even do it. It's crazy because like, and this was the point in time where it's like, this is where I finally realized like, oh, like they really don't care about the timeline shit at all. They do not care, because it's like here we are, Tears of the Kingdom, direct sequel to Breath of the Wild, same characters, same world, and even then they're not even like, even then it's like not even a sequel. You know what I mean? It's so weird. It's very weird. And I would definitely say the dungeon sections, quote unquote, in this game are a lot better than Breath of the Wild for sure. But again, they are kind of lame. Like the whole like, oh, hit the 5 switches, like, you know. Now at this point in time, I have actually played the new Zelda game, Echoes of Wisdom, where you're fucking playing as Zelda and you're jumping on the tables and shit. Like, I just beat that game and like, and that what I loved about that game was that game was like heavily inspired by Breath of the Wild, and you had all the freedom and shit where like you could like fucking jump on trees and like go over in all these places. It's like, oh, it feels like you shouldn't even be able to do that. But then at the same time, it's like they have the classic like Zelda dungeons as well, you know? Like they're like doing both at the same time with the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, you know? And again, it's like a top-down Zelda, so it's obviously not as complicated and stuff, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like what was cool about that game is like, it kind of proves that like, no, you can have both. Like, you can have like the open world Breath of the Wild experience and still have like the classic dungeons, you know? You can still have that stuff. And, yeah, I feel like, bro, like whenever we finally get like whenever we get like a next Zelda game, like, I don't know, like the third, whatever experience that we're going to get, hopefully with like a new world map and stuff, like, bro, like they can totally have like the giant open world experience and have like the classic dungeons that like fans love, you know? Like you can do both. And that's kind of what I'm hoping we will eventually get to, because yeah, man, the whole like you enter the dungeon and it's like, oh, gotta hit the 5 switches to open the boss door shit. Like I'm starting to get that shit's getting old. It really is. It's like, come on, bro, we got like move on, you know? And again, bro, Tears of the Kingdom, it's such a big fucking game. Like, and the fact that I was able to condense this down to like 30 minutes is like, it's pretty good. Like, I'm pretty happy with that. And again, I was able to include like the Master Koga shit, which I really didn't have to do. And like, so again, like, I'm kind of like, technically I could cut this shit out, like all the like underground, like Master Koga sections. Like, I really don't need that, but again, like, I feel like now with this new approach with Uncivil Synopsis, I'm kind of able to like, because I'm not going on so many side rants and going crazy, like, I feel like I can finally like do a little bit of like focus on the main story and then sprinkle in like some like a little bit of side quest stuff that's like super important or like really good to highlight, and like kind of intermince that stuff, you know? Because yeah, I can kind of picture like if I made this, like if Tears of the Kingdom like came out in like 2016 or whatever, like this could have easily been like a 15-minute like this could have easily been like a 15-minute video, sort of like the Twilight Princess video, you know? I could have easily skipped over like all the underground shit and like, you know? But yeah, like the video as is, it's great. I do love it. And again, bro, dude, here we fucking are. The Gibdos are attacking Gerudo Town, and it's like, oh, you can't kill the Gibdos unless you have lightning attacks, huh? I wonder if we had a divine beast that shoots lightning all the fucking time. I wonder if we had that. It's like, what the fuck is going on, bro? It's like, bro, you had the camel. We literally had the camel, bro. You had to put the thunder helm on so we could get near the camel because it was shooting lightning everywhere. It's like, bro, guys. You know what I mean? It's like, what? I don't know. There has to be like, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, and obviously like the answer is like, you know, they want to have some conflict and stuff, and they want to use off the new like hero mechanics or whatever, the, you know, like they want to use off the new Riju thunder ability stuff. So that's the answer really. Because if we have the divine beast sitting around, you're not gonna use Riju's ability, you know, like, so, you know what I mean? I get it, you know, but it's like, I don't know. And again, I'm kind of highlighting here, like, okay, guys, I'm kind of sick of the switches. Like, Like with the first game, like Breath of the Wild, I kind of gave that the pass. I really did. But now it's like, come on, guys. Like, you had time to, like, make some good dungeons. Like, to be fair, they are a lot better in this game, but, like, I don't know, man. Like, come on, bro. Just the whole, like, switches thing, I'm done. And again, this is where I'm kind of, this is like, I feel like this is like the most obvious kind of problem with the story is, yeah, again, like, because you can do each dungeon in whatever order you want, like, they obviously wanted to include this cutscene, you know, in each place, but instead of, like, sequencing it to where, like, oh, you got the one here, like, maybe we'll tell, like, they just give you the same cutscene 4 times in a row. It's like, why? Because I feel like what they should have done is, like, maybe you went to the first place, and maybe they give you, like, a little cutscene, and then maybe the second one, they kind of do the same thing again, but, like, maybe they, like, elaborate on it, you know what I mean? And, like, and maybe as you progress through the quest, maybe, like, you would get more information or, like, new details, but, like, yeah, it's just, they just drop you, they just give you the same fucking cutscene 4 times in a row, and again, I'm kind of like, okay, can I skip this? Can I not skip this? I don't know. And it's like, so I ended up watching all the cutscenes when I played the game, because it's like, yeah, maybe it's the same cutscene again, but, like, what if they show something different or something? You know, it's like, I don't know, you know? And again, I'm doing this classic bit where, like, while the sage ghosts are really good in this game, like, I do think they're a little wonky to use sometimes, because, like, yeah, I do enjoy the way it worked in Breath of the Wild more, where, like, the abilities were more, like, linked to Link's abilities, you know, like how you would use, like, you know, Urbosa's lightning by, like, holding your charge attack twice or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and sure, I'd say the worst thing about Breath of the Wild was the Daruk's protection. Like, you when you had Daruk's protection, like, you basically couldn't use your shield without just wasting Daruk's protection. It was just a stupid skill to have mapped to the shield button. That was dumb for sure. But yeah, besides that, like, all the other abilities, like, those worked way better. Like, you know, having like the wind and stuff, like fucking the fucking wind burst up in the air, like, that worked great. The charge attack worked great, you know, like Mipha's Grace worked great because it was just a passive ability, you know. But yeah, in Tears of the Kingdom, it's like, yeah, in order to activate the ability, you have to like, you're in combat and, like, shit's going crazy. All the enemies are everywhere. Your ghosts are fighting everywhere. And it's like, oh, where the fuck? I want to use the lightning ability. Where the fuck's Riju? Where the fuck's Riju? And she's like off in the distance, like, running away from you, like, running away from to attack some monster up on a hill. And it's like, okay, now I have to go chase after her. And then, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it just sucks. It's not, like, it's not ideal. Like, and especially with the sage ghosts, I've noticed, when you play the game, like, when they kind of follow beside you, they kind of, like, purposely kind of stay outside your camera range. Like, they'll follow, like, closely behind you, but, like, just so they're, like, out of range off camera to where you can't see them. So again, like, you'll kind of do that thing where, like, you'll turn the camera around to run towards them, but because you're turning the camera towards them, it's like the game, like, wants the sage ghosts to not be in camera when, like, you're walking around. So, like, the sage ghosts are, like, walking counterclockwise around you as you're moving the camera towards them, and it's like, it's just really awkward sometimes. It really is. And again, like, that's kind of why I pointed out, like Sidon's ability. Like, I just never use Sidon's ability in this game, because it's like, because not only, like, you know, I never had, like, the opportunity to use it, because it's like, oh, I want the shield to, like, block an attack or some shit. Like, okay, I guess I'll run up to Sidon to grab it, and then, like, you swing the sword once and then you lose it, and it's like, and yeah, there are, like, some cool uses with, like, the water effect or something. Like, there's definitely, like, you can do, like, you can combine the water with, like, electric attacks or some shit, and, like, it does something cool. Or, but you know what I mean? I just never used it, because it was such a pain in the ass to, like, walk up to Sidon to grab it to then use it in battle. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I ended up just never really, like, messing with the abilities that much, you know? And again, this secret stone bit is like a perfect example of like me escalating things to 250%. You know what I mean? It's like it's so good because it's like you got the secret stone, the secret stone, the secret stone. And like the background theme keeps like replaying over and over again. It's like I replay the theme like 3 or 4 times. It's like, oh, you got a secret stone, the most valuable stone. There's a secret stone. It's like, it's so funny. And then, of course, by the time I get to the fucking, you know, I get to the Gorons, you know, and I do the 4th dungeon, I'm just like, you know what, guys, I'm not explaining this shit anymore, you know, which was great because it's like, okay, the bit was getting a bit stale at that point. It's like, okay, you know what, guys, I'm not repeating this shit. You guys already know, you know, same cutscene. So again, it's like I'm doing the bit, you know, it's funny. I know when it's funny. I know when it's going on too long, and I cut it short before it gets like too crazy and like too over the top, you know. And again, this was kind of a weird moment in the story because it's like, you know, it's like why is Ganon like giving them like mind control drugs or whatever? It makes no sense. What's the motivation? I don't get what the motivation is. Why is he doing that shit? It makes no sense. I mean, I guess the idea is like he's able to control them or something. I don't know. It's like, it's very bizarre. And again, I do think like this is like the natural progression of the game because, yeah, this is like the point in time where it's like you kind of realize like, oh no, Zelda is just evil. She's just evil, like in this section for sure, you know? And this is funny too, right here. It's like, bro, there's literally a divine beast just sitting on Death Mountain in this very spot that could have totally killed this thing if it was just in universe, but it's just not there anymore. You know what I mean? And again, it's funny because like it's like, oh, they left some like tutorial Zonai build just sitting right here. That's how we can kill it, you know? Because, bro, if that thing wasn't there, like, what the fuck would you do? Literally, what would you do if that thing wasn't there, you know? And again, bro, as boring as stale as the old 3D Zelda games were with like the dungeons and stuff, you know, or at least the format and stuff, you know, the dungeons were the highlight. And it's like, I do kind of understand like that criticism from like a lot of like older Zelda fans who enjoyed the older 3D Zelda games. Like, yeah, bro, the dungeons in these games, they're definitely not as good. They really aren't. And again, this like auto ability where like Yunobo like gets permanently attached to like your Zonai build. Like I've never wanted to use his ability like that ever. Like, and again, it does that thing where like you build like the little like the little helicopter thing that little meme helicopter. But yeah, it'll like attach to that thing and like it'll literally like Yunobo will like weigh down your machine and like attach awkwardly and like throw it off. And like it's weird. Like I don't like that ability. I really don't. But it is useful for like mining the Zonite and like that's it. But I don't know. Again, it's like a mixed bag because it's like, I don't know. Again, it's like, man, like I kind of wish it just worked the way it did in the old games, but it's still they're still pretty good, and like you can turn them off if you want to, which is cool, you know. But again, the Sage Ghosts, they're so useful, so it's like you kind of want to always have them on, no matter what. And again, like there's so many like different ways you can play the game, like apparently like some people were able to like find the 5th sage like before they went up to the castle and stuff, and like, you know what I mean? Like, so what I'm doing right now is I'm basically kind of just explaining like my first playthrough, which was about like as generic as it was possible. Besides that one part of the video where I basically just like sequence skipped the whole 5th sage side quest by like blindly going to the island and not knowing what I was doing, you know? But again, that's what I did on my first playthrough, because it's just like, oh yeah, the 5th stage is probably over there, you know? So I just went there, and it just worked out, you know? And yeah, dude, this whole like the Zelda story stuff in this game is so good. It really is. And the payoff to like finding out that she's the dragon and she has the Master Sword, and you just find the dragon and you pull it out, like, bro, what a great reveal. Holy shit, dude. That was sick. Yeah, dude, this shit was so cool. Bro, like, and again, I will say Tears of the Kingdom, like, because one of the problems with Breath of the Wild especially is like, yeah, dude, like the finale of the game like definitely wasn't as good, you know? And bro, the shit that happens at the end of this game, it completely is like, it's so much better, and like it's like totally like the experience that like that Breath of the Wild should have had, you know? And again, like, this is like Tears of the Kingdom, it just does shit better. It really does. And like, it definitely doesn't get enough credit because it's so similar to the previous game, which I do understand, like especially, and I even say this in the video, like, I will say, like, I did enjoy Breath of the Wild, like, during the time, like, when I played Breath of the Wild in 2017 versus playing Tears of the Kingdom now, when it came out, like, I did have, like, a much more enjoyable experience with Breath of the Wild. And the reason for that, despite it being, like, a much more flawed game, is because, again, it was, like, a fresh, new experience. So, like, all, like, the flaws of the game, like, the, you know, the kind of shitty Divine Beast dungeons and, like, kind of the anticlimactic ending to the game, like, I was able to kind of forgive that stuff more. Whereas this game, it kind of fixes a lot of that stuff. But again, it doesn't get as much credit, or it's not, because it's like not as novel. Because again, it's like, it's the same world map we've been to before, and there is a lot of new stuff for sure. But again, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not as new, you know, it's not as novel, you know? And from like a kind of, from my own perspective, I do kind of like, I do give Breath of the Wild a lot more credit for like being the first to kind of do it, you know? But again, like, this game is still fucking good. Like, 5 to 10 years now, people are looking back at this game being like, holy shit, that shit was crazy. Like, really. I really do think so, because, yeah, honestly, like, I don't know. I wonder, like, because I still haven't gone back and played Breath of the Wild after playing this game, and, like, I do wonder if it's going to age worse because of this game existing, you know? Because man, if you want to play, like, a more, like, you know, like, because this game is basically like Breath of the Wild, but just better, you know? So, like, is Breath of the Wild going to be good to come back to? I don't know. Like, I think it'll still be fun for sure, but, like, yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like, at some point in time, I'm gonna try to, like, revisit Breath of the Wild and, like, see if it's good still, or, like, if it holds up, you know? I do think that the nostalgia factor, like, it'll still hold up for sure, but yeah, like, anyways, I kind of want to, anyways, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, and this was a cool surprise for sure. Like, when I played this game for the first time, I did not expect to do, like, a whole 5th dungeon type shit, like, and, like, I did not expect, like, to have, like, a Minoru, like, robot thing. Like, that was actually, like, a pretty cool surprise. This bit's funny as fuck. It's like, I found all this shit on my own. I solved the whole fucking mystery. And this is a funny bit, a funny little side bit I did where it's like, yo, that dragon's scary as fuck. I'm not going to that shit. And then at the end of the game, it's like, oh, time to fight that dragon, you know? Because again, that's literally what I did. Again, I'm like including like fun little side quest stuff that like is important. Like, Cause bro, everyone went to that bridge and saw that dragon and were just like, yo, fuck that shit. I'm not going to that shit. And then they get near the end of the game. It's like, time to fight that fucking dragon. Like, again, it's like, that's like something I probably didn't have to include, but like, again, I feel like at this point in time, I've gotten really good at like including like small little side shit like that. And like, cause again, like fighting the Gleeoks, like that's such a core memory experience of Tears of the Kingdom. And like, again, if I didn't include that in the video, like that'd be kind of lame, you know? So again, it's cool that like I'm able to like include all this stuff, you know? This fight was fucking sick. Again, like the ending to this game in comparison to Breath of the Wild, like there's no comparison. This is just so much better. Like it is. It's like you get the fight to Ganondorf. He rips the thing off. You know, he becomes a dragon. It's like such a good. Again, it's like foreshadowed through the Zelda story, and now Ganondorf's doing it. You know, it's like, and then Zelda comes in to save you. It's like, bro, it's like this story and gameplay sequencing stuff. It's so like immaculate. It's so good. Yeah, like in the Dark Beast Ganon shit, that shit sucked. It really did. And as much as I love Breath of the Wild, bro, that shit sucked. It really did. And this shit is so much cooler. And like the music's going, and like Zelda comes back, and you like dive down to go get her. It's so fucking sick, dude. It's so cool. And again, it's like we are like kind of retreading like, you know, the whole like Breath of the Wild type shit where it's like, oh, you got to find Zelda, and then you found Zelda. Like it is doing the same exact thing again. But it's so good. It's so good, you know? This is kind of bullshit. It's like, okay, she can become Zelda again. It's like, okay, whatever. It's a Nintendo game. Fine. Whatever, you know? That's fine. You know, whatever. Happy ending. Let's have a happy ending. That's fine. But yeah, man, dude, if we get another Zelda game, yeah, I want a new world map for sure. We can't do this old shit again. That'd be lame. And yeah, dude, we gotta ramp up these dungeons a bit. We can't be doing the same hit the 5 switch bullshit thing. I don't want to do that anymore. You know? That's all I want. And again, this is kind of a poignant ending for the video where, again, I'm kind of doing this like generic kind of game review thing that I've been kind of doing with all the Zelda videos. Like specifically, I've been doing this with all the Zelda videos. So again, maybe this is a bit unnecessary, but kind of a poignant ending to the video where it's like, you know, because I do like want to kind of put my thoughts out there as well. We're like, and again, there are some people that are like, Tears of the Kingdom's a shit game. It's fucking shit. And it's like, dude, I do not agree with that at all, bro. Like, you're fucking on crack cocaine if you think this game is bad. You are crazy. Because at the end of the day, like, bro, like, the reason they were able to put this game out is because they are like reusing the world from, you know, the previous game. So it's like, if the world we live in is like, you know, if they actually made like a brand new Zelda game and like it would take way longer and it would be on the Switch too, like way later down the road, and like we never got Tears of the Kingdom, like, you know, I'd rather have Tears of the Kingdom and then a new Zelda game later, like, honestly, because yeah, I don't know, it's still a great game for sure. But yeah, overall, Tears of the Kingdom video, banger ass video. A lot better than the Breath of the Wild one for sure. Mostly just for pacing. Like, I think the jokes in both videos are great, and like overall they're pretty on par with each other, you know, because they're basically the same game, you know, but the pacing in this video is a lot better. There's more like story stuff to make fun of, you know, so this video, it's like slightly better for sure. But yeah, great video. Moving on.